2. Good evening, everybody. Is everybody ready to laugh? All right. Give me your best laugh. I'm done here. My work here is done. We want to welcome you to Crossroads Community Church, best church in town, or at least the funniest church in town. Amen. All right. Well, we're doing our first ever missions comedy night, and we're so excited to have some great comedians with us. They've flown in from all around the country, and they're here tonight, and we're going to have a good time laughing. And I get to be the opening act. Yeah, and we're on film too, so I get to see how awesome I did, how funny I was, crack myself up. I crack myself up all the time anyhow. But we want to welcome you. This whole night is about missions and missions possible. I know that as you walked in through the door tonight, you saw like 1,000 cupcakes out in the foyer. Woo! And that's from all the people who like to eat. Amen. Yeah. So we're really excited about missions possible, making missions possible here through Crossroads. From this church in Fitchburg, we are changing the world. And you're going to hear more about the missionaries that we support. And how many remember that Christmas offering we took a couple years ago where we raised money, $12,000 to put young people through schooling. And we have updates of them out in the foyer. So if you're interested in seeing where your money goes and how Crossroads lives are changing lives, you can see that out in the foyer later on during intermission when you're eating cupcakes and, doing the American thing, getting fat. Amen. So we're very excited about tonight, and we're blessed that you're here, and I know that you're going to be blessed. And it's about missions and raising mission awareness. Amen. As a pastor, we hear a lot of cliches. How many can imagine that as pastors we hear a lot of cliches? And so one of my favorite cliches is when you walk up to somebody, you ask them, "How you doing?" And how many here have ever heard the cliche, "Well, I'm hanging in there." Hanging in there. And I've come to think about these cliches because I don't know that we really actually think about what we're saying. And we just kind of say things to kind of mask what we're really feeling. But we say, "How you doing?" "I'm hanging in there." And I've come to think about hanging in there. I've come to answer that by saying, well, I hope it's not by your neck, because if you're hanging in there, I know I can picture you hanging out. How many here have ever hung out? You can hang out, but what do you do if you're hanging in? I mean, by what? An elastic, a rope, a vine, and we Tarzan and Jane here, or what? We're hanging in there. I don't know about you. I'd much rather sit in there or lay in there. How about sleep in there? I'd much rather sleep in than hang in, all right? So the next time, you ask somebody asks you, "How you doing?" "I'm sleeping in there. I'm sleeping in there," all right? Then, sometimes you're going through a hard time and somebody wants to encourage you. So what do they say? They say, "Well, we'll just take a day at a time." How many here, somebody's ever told you to take it a day at a time? Let me see your hand. How else can you take it? I mean, if you really wanted to encourage somebody going through a hard time, hey, take 2 days at a time. Why don't you take 3 days at a time? This is what I've come to say. You know what? You're going through a hard time. Take 5 days at a time. Today's Sunday, go to bed. When you wake up, it'll be Friday. Monday, you're stewing about the problem. Tuesday, you're having to confront that problem and that person. Wednesday, you're working through it. Thursday, you're kind of feeling like I've gotten through that. Friday, you're completely over that. You wake up on Friday, sleep in, get up at 3, get your paycheck. Now you're ready for the weekend. And then you can live a little. You ever hear that cliche? Live a little? Whoa, what do you mean? What, do you want me to die early? Is that what you're saying? You want me to die early? You want me to just live a little? I'll tell you what, next time you encourage somebody, tell them, hey, live a lot. Live a full, happy life. Live a lot, would you? Just live a lot. Look at your neighbor, tell them, live a lot. Live a lot. Live a lot. Amen. Well, how many are ready for some real comedians here tonight? All right. It's been my lifelong dream to do stand-up, so you're all my guinea pig. How many here have ever had guinea pigs? You know the noise they make? Right? So you're all guinea pigs. You're my guinea pigs. It's been my lifelong dream to do stand-up. My opening debut, my first time ever doing stand-up ever! Woo! How we doing tonight? hanging in there, hanging in there, hanging in there. So our first comedian tonight is Joey ILO, and he's come all the way from California. So why don't we give it up for our first comedian of the evening? Woo! You can do better. Yeah! All right, brother. Hey, break a leg.
Hey, keep it going for Barry for bombing. Right there, Barry bombed. Barry Bomb, that's his last name, Barry Bombs. I love that guy. He took one for the team and proves that comedy's not easy. Not everybody can do it, especially not Barry. I'm not from California. I'm from Minnesota. That's where I'm from. Well, I'm originally from Chicago, but I was in Philadelphia last night. I had 2 shows last night and drove all the way here. I left at 8 in the morning, got here at 4. Oh, my goodness. And I had wrote a song before I came out here, and I decided to dedicate it to the East Coast because of what I went through today. I've been struggling with this lately. I've been struggling with this really hardcore lately, and I know there's a lot of people in this room that have been struggling with this, and if you're a person who doesn't struggle with this, you're probably the person who makes everybody struggle with this. So I'd like to dedicate this song to the whole East Coast, especially New York, and in New Jersey, they're annoying, and Connecticut, I hate you and love you at the same time, and Massachusetts, you guys are all right, not too bad. Except for Barry Bombs, but everybody else. This song is dedicated to you. It's called Ordinary Road Rage. You guys ready? Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and play that, yeah. Any day now, that would be great, yeah. Okay, yeah, turn it up. All right. Shh, listen. Oh, he can sing, I didn't know that. Oh. Shh, listen. Girl, I got things to do. I know you see me in your rear view. Stepped on the gas trying to pass, but you're in the way. Cause on my right there's a semi-truck trying to get around it, but I'm out of luck. Seems like I go through this every day. I know people have plans while they drive minivans, and that's cool. Just get off of your phone, cause you're texting and eating your blinkers, been blinking for the last 30 miles. Move to the right and just let me go, cause there are so many people driving in the fast lane way too slow. Can I get an amen? There's even geriatric people driving in the fast lane way too slow. They have the nerve, I gotta get to church, but they're driving way too slow. They're driving slow. You guys ready to have a good time tonight? Come on, that's what I'm saying. So my name is Joey ILO, and you'll see that on my sign it says I.L.O. And really my last name is Aiello, like the famous actor Danny Aiello. Yeah, you probably knew that. You see, in the East Coast they understand it because, you know, there's a lot of Italians out here and they get that. It's like Aiello's like Rodriguez, you know, everybody knows. But in the North, they don't know that, you know, and the A is silent, so no one knows how to say it. So that's why I created the ILO thing, right? Because last time I did this show with my real last name, they introduced me like this. Please welcome to the stage, Joey Ayatollah. Like, where'd you get the T from? This ain't Wheel of Fortune. You just can't pick out letters and hope that it makes sense. Just... Like, I knew I was ready for comedy growing up in an Italian home because you have to be. You get heckled at the age of 3. Were you some kind of baby? I'm 3, you know. You gotta be tough. You gotta be, you know. You gotta be. And it's funny because I go to Canada quite a bit, and they always get made fun of in Canada for saying the letter A after sentences. Have you ever heard of them? Yeah, like they'll say a sentence and they'll go, I'm going to the store, A. Yeah. But if you're from an Italian family or even from the East Coast, you know what I'm talking about. We flip that. We go, hey, I'm going to the store. We flip it. We love that letter. I don't know why we don't get made fun of. When we're excited, hey! When we're mad, hey! What's the matter with you? We ask a question. And we say it first, though. Hey. Yeah. I was always scared of the machine gun question when I was a kid. That's when you knew you were going to get it at my house. My dad would be like, hey, what did I tell you to do? What did I say? Standing there crying, I don't know what you said. He just spit in my eye. I can't even see you right now. Would you stop doing that? My dad used to shake like that because he was a Christian. It's true. He never wanted to curse in front of his kids. He was a Christian. He wanted to be a good example. That's why he shook like that. He was holding it in. He used to go to church like that. I got to go out for healing. These kids are driving me crazy. My mother shakes, but not like my father. My mom shakes when she says the word Google. She doesn't even know how to turn the computer on half the time, but she will insert that word in the end of conversation. Well, if you don't know where your wallet is, maybe you should Google it. Did you Google downstairs? So ridiculous. You can't come to my house without my mom offering you stuff. You come in the door, would you like some corn? We got all kinds. Got cream corn, kettle corn. I got a cornucopia we can set up. It'll be awesome. You know, my husband's a Capricorn, but I don't believe in that. We're Christians. No, it's true. Google it. It's true. I don't know. I just recently became a father. Yes. And I got a new baby girl. And you want to see her? Yeah, show my baby. There's my baby. It's Valentina is her name. Now here's the thing, like when my baby was 4 months, a lot of people used to say like, wow, your baby looks like a little doll, you know. And I didn't believe them until I took her to the store and put her on the shelf. That's a real photo. That's not Photoshop. The bad news is she's sold out. I have the only one. You can't have her. That's awesome. Yeah, you can take that. It's awesome when you have kids. It brings you back to your own family when you have kids. It really does. It brings you back to your childhood. I was thinking about my childhood after she was born. And like, I didn't come from a poor family. My family was on a budget. Like, that's almost worse than being poor because you know your family has money. They just don't want to spend it on you. Like, you knew my dad was on a budget. His thing was, hey, don't you buy that. I can build it. Hey, don't be looking at the store. I can build that. It's like, Dad, it's great. I just really don't want a bike made out of wood. The only kid in the neighborhood with the wooden bike. It was embarrassing. It's all rickety, rackety, you know. There's no rubber tubing on my wheels. It's all wood. Handlebars is a 2x4. The wood's rubbing up against the concrete, causing friction. I get home, I start crying because my bike's on fire. My bike. No. Dad's like, hey, don't you worry. I'll make you a new bike out of oak wood, huh? That's another thing. My dad was 100%. I'm sure you got 100% Irish. When they're 100%, they bounce for some reason. You ever? I am 100%. They talk with their hands all the time. I'm 50%, so I just talk with the one hand. That's how that works. But I'm married. That's important. So not only have the baby, I'm married before we had the baby, which is a blessing. Don't see that often. I'm like a unicorn. You don't see that often. But no, my wife is from the South. She's from way down south. She's from Ecuador, and I don't know what she's wooing. South, Ecuador. Oh, Ecuador, yeah. For the people that didn't laugh when I said Ecuador, it's probably because you don't know where Ecuador is. Is that in Europe? I don't remember that being next to Alabama, right? You didn't know. Like, don't feel bad if you don't know where Ecuador is. Like, I don't even know how to speak my wife's language. She speaks Spanish, you know? Like, I'm learning right now. I'm watching a special program it teaches you. It's called Dora the Explorer. I love it. It's great. I'll never forget when we went to get married, man. This lady overheard the conversation. I was telling a friend I was going to Ecuador to get married. She goes, oh, you're going to Ecuador? Do you speak Mexican? I was like, you mean Spanish? How do you speak Mexican? Like, what's happening? Hey, come over here. Like, what? What are you talking about? So weird. But I'm happily married. We're about to celebrate our fifth year anniversary in November. That's awesome. And we got married couples here in the audience. Yeah, awesome. How long y'all been married? 20 years. Wow. Well, that's great. I don't know what to say. That's great. I'm in shock. I'm at 20 years? That's awesome. Berry bombs. But he didn't bomb the marriage, and he's been in it for 20 years. Awesome. Anybody else? Anybody? Yeah? 5 years, okay. Anybody? You can put the paddle down. This is an auction. 35, 40. Yeah, how long? 24? That's awesome. Yeah, okay, you can clap it. Yeah, go ahead, honey. A month. Well, see, that's awesome because I've had friends that like ask me they're about to get married or they just got married. I'm glad that's so awesome. And a lot of friends are like, well, what have you noticed in your 4 or 5 years that you've been married? And here's some advice for you. The one thing I've noticed, and I'm sure they've been married for 20 years, I noticed that like me and my wife have different tempers. Amen. I think it's a major thing. We don't talk about it a lot. Like the way men and women, we're obviously different, but the way we get upset has a lot to do with why conflicts happen. They do. I mean, me personally, I have an amnesia temper. Yeah. I can't speak for all men, but me, I have an amnesia one. Like, I'll get upset and forget why I was mad in the same sentence. I'll be like, you know what? Yeah. I'm hungry. Yeah, and I learned in that first year of marriage, you can't do that with the ladies. You can't get upset and then forget why you're mad, because they don't forget anything, ever. Their minds are different, their tempers are different. They have a filing cabinet of anger when they get upset, because they record everything. If you're about to get married or you're dating, they're recording you right now, guys. They got a file on you, and everything they do that they don't like, they put it in the file. And this new generation of girls, they're even worse because it's a digital file, holds a lot of memory. Yeah, they're more sophisticated with their anger. You know, they'll hold it for years to come against you. And that's not a problem. It's just the way we're wired, right? But I'm just saying we need to warn the guys when they get married. That way, ladies, they could never ever complain. Because you know, when we get in an argument, this is the way guys think. Oh, she forgave me. She must have shredded the documentation. She must have erased the zip. Nope, still there, right? So let's warn the guys, like the wedding, like the Miranda rights. Those are a warning. And so are the wedding vows. Let's put the Miranda rights in the wedding vows. That would be awesome. And the service would rock. Do you take this woman for better, for worse, in sickness and in health, and in arguments and disagreements? You have the right to remain silent. Because anything you say can and will be used against you. As long as you both shall live. Hi, I'm Joey Aiello. You guys ready for your next comic? Next comic coming to stage is a really good friend of mine. We perform a lot together, and he's he's a big star that's happening. Please welcome Claiborne Cox.
My mom went a shopping spree from the grocery store. My mom went a shopping spree from the grocery store. It says she had 2 minutes to run around and grab everything she could for free. She went straight for the cash register. My favorite food is butter. I cannot afford to buy name brand butter. I cannot even afford to buy regular generic butter. I would buy generic butter. It's called I can't believe I can't afford it. I can't believe it's not butter. What are you clapping for? If you announced you were poor, I would not clap for you. I cannot afford to buy name brand hand sanitizer. I'd buy generic hand sanitizer. It's called soapy water. I don't know about germs, but it kills 99.9% of dirt. Our yard is all dirt. I'm from Alabama. We cannot afford grass or sod. My mama told me that I was saying the grass is always on the other side. Who just said, quote, look at his face? You have the right to remain silent. What was the last one I told? I don't even remember now. I don't remember. Tell me, what was the last one I just told you about? That's right. Okay. I cannot afford to buy a name brand deodorant. My mom, you remember those old commercials for Sure deodorant? Raise your hand if you're sure. My mom used to buy me Perhaps deodorant. Their slogan was, perhaps you should keep your arms down. My dad lost 10 pounds last month using a generic weight loss program. It's called food poisoning. I like Kmart, but it's kind of grungy in there. They got a good deal going on right now, though. Buy a T-shirt, get a free staph infection. Who works in Kmart? Who in here works at Kmart? When I was growing up in Alabama, our house had ivy growing all over it. My dad used to trim the ivy from the front, but he didn't care. He just left it in the back. It literally looked like my house had a mullet. And back then, all my friends used to play with the Care Bears. Man, I could not afford those. I had one generic. Don't Care Bear. That bear did not care. On a good day, my boss goes around saying, I feel like $1 million. Man, I cannot afford that. On a good day, I feel like a coupon. Joey did not announce this, but I've actually been on the Tonight Show. Not once, not twice, but 0 times. Oh, my mom, I forgot to tell you. My mom, she used to get very upset. And she would threaten to send me to therapy every single time I argued with my brothers. Probably because I'm an only child. My pen pal is from a different country. And the other day he wrote me a letter that said, which of these 2 sentences is correct? If I was you, I would very happy. Or if I were you, I would very happy. So I wrote him back, if I was you, I would very wrong. My mom used to say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. But a restraining order will. The other day I took my little baby daughter for a stroll. And I dressed her up in a cute little pink outfit that was very cute. And I put a little pink bow in her hair and I took her for a stroll. I bumped into a politician man. He said, "That's a cute boy you got there." I said, "Yes, ma'am." That's how I stroll. I started a hotline for people who struggle with incompletion. It's dial 1-800. My uncle, during the summertime, he uses one of those artificial tans in a bottle. So I wrote him a poem. Roses are red, violets are blue, but you are orange. He got arrested last week, though, for shoplifting a bunch of stomach relief medicine. His prison nickname is Klepto-Bismol. When I was a little boy, ever since I've been a boy, really. That wasn't really even a joke or anything. I'm going to start that one all over. Ever since I've been a little boy, I always enjoyed sucking the salt off of sunflower seeds. So I was very disappointed when somebody else in my class got voted most likely to succeed. My diploma says I got my degree in graphic design. I did major in it for a while until I learned how to use Photoshop to design a fake diploma. One lady clapped for that one, Pastor. She basically clapped for sin just now. So, just this lady. Thank you for being here. My dad cannot pronounce the word toilet. He says tarlet. I'll use it in a sentence. Claiborne, go flush the tarlet. He cannot pronounce the word wash. He says wash. As in wash the tarlet. I said, Dad, why don't you just say clean the commode? He said, man, you can clean the commode after you wash the tarlet. I have the best wife in the world. Thank you. Calm down, sir. Before I tell you about my wife, I'm actually a young person who drinks Ensure. A lot of people have preconceived notions and think that Ensure is only for old people. I'm here to clear up your preconceived notions about Ensure. Preconceived notion number one, if I drink Ensure, everyone will make fun of me. That's false. Actually, only young and middle-aged people will make fun of you. Preconceived notion number two, Ensure has a bad aftertaste. That's false. Actually, Ensure has a horrible aftertaste. One time, before I got married, I had to share my bathroom with a college roommate, and he had an old scraggly toothbrush. And so I went out to Kmart, and I bought a nice, new, dazzling toothbrush. And so I wrote on a Post-it note, "My toothbrush is vastly superior to your toothbrush," and I posted it up on the bathroom mirror. And I went to work. Well, he did not appreciate that, apparently. And so he took down the Post-it note, and on the back, he drew little cartoon muscular arms. And then he cut them out, and he taped them to his toothbrush. And then he taped little Q-tip arms on my toothbrush. And then he snapped one of the Q-tips. So it looked like his little scraggly toothbrush had broken my toothbrush's arms. Oh, no, you don't? So whenever he was gone, I stopped up a couple inches of water in the sink, and I put his toothbrush face down in the water, and my toothbrush was peering over the ledge, so it looked like my toothbrush had gone all mafia on his toothbrush. Well, he got dental floss, and he tied it around the neck of my toothbrush and hung my toothbrush from the towel rack. So I gave my toothbrush a sharp kitchen utensil. I laid his toothbrush in a pool of ketchup. So it looked like my toothbrush had shanked his toothbrush. So then, you know the board game Clue? He got the little revolver. And also the candlestick. So it looked like his toothbrush had shot my toothbrush, and then for whatever reason I don't know, had also whacked it with a candlestick. So I started a Facebook page for my toothbrush. And I just put his toothbrush on MySpace. So it looked like his toothbrush didn't even have a life. So when I was gone, he got my toothbrush and he started to scrub the toilet, and he put it back in the cup. I didn't even know that he did that. So I got home from work. I started to brush my teeth. Man, this tastes like Ensure. Not very many people clap for that one. Well, so I started telling the story across the country, and I got a DVD of myself telling this story. And I took it to my roommate years later, and I let him watch it because, one of us had to be the bigger man. Not me. While he was watching the DVD, I set his toothbrush on fire. Moral of that story is 4 out of 5 dentists recommend that you do not touch my toothbrush. My wife is great. She's one of my heroes, but sometimes she asks me weird questions at night. The other day she said, Claiborne, would you still love me if I had a third eye? Said, do you know something I don't know, sweetheart? But just to reinforce how much I love my wife, I decided to write her a song. The economy. I'm going to look at you, sir, but I'm going to think about my wife. I have to look somewhere. I didn't mean for that to sound like that at all. I'm going to look right down the center aisle at nobody. As I play that back in my head, that was creepy. That was not a... In fact, I'm never going to look at you again, sir. This is for my wife. I would love you if you had a third eye. It'd be cool to watch you cry. I'd wipe the tears from your forehead, baby. I'd still think you were beautiful as I stared into your trial. Thank you. Thanks for that. The next comedian coming up here has performed in 11 different countries for our troops. She's had her own television special called Bananas. She has been seen on Fox and on PBS. She has opened for John Tesh in one of his specials. She's here live and in person. You don't have to watch her on television night. She's here in Fitchburg, Massachusetts. Put your hands together and make a lot of noise for Ms. Donna East.
Woo! Woo! Take it easy. Relax, all right? Okay, he's all slain in the spirit over there. Give it up for Coupon Cox. He is funnier than he looks, right? It's amazing. I am just so thrilled to be here. I have had a great week. I started a diet this week. I'm doing really well. I've only gained 3 pounds. Actually, it was 8, but I took off 5 for the clothes and the boots and the shoes, and even though I was naked. Don't picture that. He's a sicko. All right. I just saw him like getting excited, and it made me feel weird about that. You know what? I have to tell you, somebody told me, Donna, it is not your fault you're fat. I said, praise the Lord. Whose fault is it? I want to know right now. Said, it's not your fault you're fat. You know what? The whole weight issue is actually in your genes. So I gave all mine to the Salvation Army. People always compliment me, when I lose a little weight. Oh, Donna, you look great. You lost a little weight. But you know what? I don't want to hear that anymore. You know what? I have to be honest. You know what I want to hear? Donna, you look great. Have you gained weight? Because your cheeks are all plump and rosy. Your wrinkles are all poofed out. Love the bigger hips, double chin, and jowls. I know, I just noticed jowls. Just looking at you, I'm thinking about going up a dress size or 2 myself. What's your secret? Butter? Yes. Me and Coupon, we eat a lot of butter together. It's good. It's delicious. You know what? Somebody recently asked me if I was pregnant. Is this true? And I'm not pregnant. So I started sucking my belly in, and I said, no, do I look pregnant? And he said, well, you sort of got this glow going on in your face there. He was from Brooklyn, right? And I said, what do you mean I got a glow going on in my face? I said, I don't care if I've got a glow going on and, in my belly button, or I'm glowing like a giant firefly, Never, ever, ever ask a woman if she's pregnant unless you're sure. I mean, how many people have done that? You have accidentally asked someone that, look, sicko, so what happened? Did you really? When was this?
I don't remember.
Now, did you really?
Yes, she does.
Did he ask someone if they were pregnant? Yeah. She's like, no, you didn't. You just wanted to be a part of the show. Right? Right? Who else raised their hand? Right? Somebody over there. What happened? Come on. Stand up. Shout it out. Don't be shy. I saw you point them out. Who was it? Right here. Who raised their hand over here? You did? Oh, he's so cute in his little green shirt. He goes, I did. What happened, sir? It didn't go very well. I wonder why. You were mortified, right? She'd been eating a few buffets. Seriously, this happened to you. She'd been eating a few buffets. And then you said what to redeem yourself? Yeah, and you ran, buddy. He's like, I sauntered away slowly. No, you ran because you were so afraid. And you know what? It's men, I noticed, that are raising their hand. Do you notice that? But you know what? Let me give you a little bit of advice. Never, ever, ever ask a woman if she's pregnant unless you're sure. I mean, you are so sure. Maybe she looks like she has the Goodyear blimp taped up underneath her shirt. She can't fit through those double doors back there, I mean, you are so sure that she is pregnant, green shirt, that you see that baby crowning. That's how sure you are before you would ever, again, ask a woman if she's pregnant, right? Because I feel comfortable with you folks here. I mean, the truth is, Crossroads, I see more pregnant-looking men in life. Than I do women. Look at Pastor. He just sucked his gut in so fast. He's like, right? You did. Aw, pobrecito. Okay. Whatever. I got to tell you. You know what? I have this neighbor. She's really skinny. I mean, really skinny. And I have to pray for skinny people. It's hard. It's hard when you see someone skinny and they're always complaining that they're fat. She comes out of the apartment the other day. She goes, oh. I go, Denise, what's wrong? Are you okay? Are you okay? She goes, She goes, look, I'm getting so fat I can pinch 1/4 of an inch. I had to go to the gym and do this Stairmaster and the treadmill and a kickboxing class and a triple fat burner class. Look, I can pinch 1/4 of an inch. And I just want to help her out, because I'm a Christian and I love the Lord, and she's misconceived here, I said, you know what, Denise, honey, that is not fat you're pinching right there, honey. That is actually your breast. But she didn't know. She didn't know. This happens, and let me tell you something. A good belly laugh actually burns 35 calories. So you are so welcome right now. You are so welcome. You know what? I went today on my way here. Julie kept saying, "Are you all right?" Julie Whitley, you know who she is? Yeah, she does things here. And She texts me, are you okay? You okay? I pulled off the road because I wanted to get a pedicure, because I'm trying to make up for being, a little overweight, maybe get a little pedicure, try to make my feet look a little better, So I pulled over and I don't know, someplace in Connecticut, like Meridian or I don't know where I was. And I walked into this salon. It was called King's Nail Salon. And, this is the impression of the woman doing my feet. Oh, hello. Welcome, come in. Oh, welcome to Toe Jam Nail Salon. My name Piyu. This my sister Yupu. Oh, we help you, we like you. You very pretty girl. Manica, pedicure, $12. I said, you know what? I think I'm just going to do a pedicure today. Okay, $12. And you pick color. And war. Pick color, and you sit here and vibrate chair. This is great. Maybe I'll lose some weight. It's fabulous. Okay, you want a French pedicure? I said, I am so sorry. I don't know what you just said. You want a French pedicure? French pedicure. A what? A French pedicure. French. Oh, do I want a French pedicure? With the little white on the tip so you don't see that dirty nail that you have. Said, no, thank you. You know what? I think I'm just going to do my Christmas red that I like. Okay, that $4 more. You want a square line there? I said, do I want a what? You want a square or line there? Square or line there? I said, do I want, I am so sorry. God bless you. I don't know what you're saying at all. You want a square or line shape there? Square or line there? I said, you know what? I am going to take a square shaped nail with a little bit of rounded on the edges, because it can get a little sharp. And you know what? That's just that. That's it. That's what I'm going to take. Okay, that's $6 more. That's $6 more. Where your fit fop? My what? Your fit fop. I said, I don't know what you're saying. What? Wear your sandals, stupid. Oh, my goodness, I forgot them, as usual. I never bring those little special, they try to give you those. She said, that okay, I have some that $8 more. Now, take off your shoe. Oh, what happened? What happened to your feet? You have Fred Flintstone feet. Fred Flintstone, the cartoon character. I said, thank you very much. Thank you for thinking that my big, flat, size 10, puffy feet look strong enough to move a bottomless car. That okay, we help you, we like you. We have emergency chair number 5. Bring me sandpaper number 9. And you we say you very nice girl. Go to garage, get me hedge quipper. No, you poo, no hedge quipper. Bring me hammer and chisel. You want me shave your leg? She asked me, did I want her to shave my legs? I said, no, they keep me warm in the winter, and I like them that way in the summer. So that's what happened to me on the way here. And not only that, I had to be real careful driving my minivan, which I never thought I'd be driving, but now that I have 2 kids. Yeah, I know, it's real exciting, right? Looser. I was like, I recently got pulled over. This is true. True story. I was coming over the George Washington Bridge. I live in Manhattan. I live in an area called Washington Heights. Do you know that area? Yeah, because I'm a rough and tough one. And I'm coming over the George Washington Bridge, and I see that I made a left turn. I said, woo! Oh, no, right? I pull over. The cop comes out. He's like, you were talking on the cell phone there when you made that left-hand turn from the far right lane? I said, yeah, I know. I was in a hurry. He said, well, you can't talk on the cell phone when you're driving. Which I kind of forgot, whatever. I ask for forgiveness a lot. So that's all you do. So I was like, yeah. And he's like, and look here, you got 2 babies in the back seat right there. You got 2 babies. You got, what is he, 1 year old? And they're 1. And at the time she was 3 because she just turned 4. And I was like, yes, officer, I am so sorry. He goes, there could be like 2 points here on your license, 2 points. And I said, you know what, officer? I know I made a left-hand turn from the far right. There was no one coming. I mean, big deal. I said, but the thing is I could do better than that. You see, I'm a professional driver. You're talking to a professional mother driver. I mean, when I drive around town, if my baby drops his pacifier, I can actually drive and talk on the phone and reach down and pick up that pacifier and put it in his mouth while I'm driving and talking on the phone. And that should be worth at least 3 points right there. I mean, you're not talking to an amateur mother driver here. You're talking to a professional driver. When my daughter drops her Dora the Explorer doll, I can actually talk on the phone while I'm driving, pick up the pacifier, put it in his mouth, pick up the Dora the Explorer doll, and give it to her all while I'm driving. And that should be worth at least 5 points right there, right? I am a professional. I'm a professional driver here. I said, not only that, while I'm driving, I can talk on the phone, and I can pick up the pacifier, put it in my baby's mouth. I can pick up the Dora the Explorer doll and give it to my daughter, and I can put my makeup on. All while I'm talking on the phone. And that should be worth at least 8 points right there. I'm a professional. I can do better than that. I really can. I said, an officer, you should see me on the way to church when I'm putting my pantyhose on. And then I was like, maybe you should just take my license. Maybe that would be the better idea, right? I mean, it was a true story. He let me go, which was so great, But, we're not supposed to be talking and texting. And so I called Julie today. And I was talking on the phone, talking to Julie. And she's a nice lady. She's got some kids, I think, in the background because they were real annoying. And so I was like... She was like, you know what, and I'm talking, and she's like, you know what, and I told you to hold on just a minute, I told you, and I said, I'm sorry, Julie, I'll hold on, it's no problem. And then I realized she's talking to little, Bambino or whoever it was. And then, then she's like, you know what, I don't know the hotel, but, I'm going to get that information, I'm going to text that over to you, and then you can read it while you're driving. This is how Christians help each other break the law. And I got it. And I got there just fine, right? So, I just want you to know that we've all been forgiven and it's all good. This is the amazing thing about driving is like, I don't want to drive with just everybody. I think there's a lot of bad drivers out there. Like my grandmother. My grandmother will be 92 years old. She's afraid to drive with me. I'm afraid to drive with her. When I'm driving, she's like, slow down. Use the turn signal. Look out for the pedestrian. When my grandma's driving, I'm like, speed up. Turn the turn signal off. We turned like a half hour ago. And sit up on the yellow book so you can see over the steering wheel. My grandmother is great. She, like I said, is going to be 92. She still lives in her own home. She still drives her own car. I mean, she doesn't even wear Depends. I do because I'm lazy. Now, who here wears Depends? Nobody wants. You know who you are. You're squirting it out right now. Green shirt. No? All right. I'm just checking. I want to be helpful. I've got an extra one in my purse. You know, I actually am like Joey. I married an Ecuadorian. I don't know. They're real popular right now. And my husband is from Cuenca. Is anyone here also married to an Ecuadorian, or just the two of us? Well, that's weird. I wouldn't have guessed that here, wherever we are in Massachusetts. Yeah, my husband is fabulous. We have two kids together, like I said, 1-year-old and just turned 4 years old, and we're doing well. We're making it. I hear a baby crying right there too. So where is the baby? I don't see it. Is it under your seat? Like what? Oh, you said yes. So I thought you had the baby. So I thought maybe you just shoved it under the seat real fast to make it be quiet. You know. But my husband, he. Unlike Joey, I don't have to watch Dora the Explorer because he talks to me in Spanish. He will say things like, "Tú eres muy bonita. Te quiero. Te amo mucho. I love you." Tú eres muy bonita. I think it means something like go shopping more, so I try to be obedient in that way. The only thing I can say back to him is, "Yo quiero Taco Bell." I learned that from a little dog on TV. I was doing, I know this tonight is for missions, and I think that's so awesome what you guys are trying to do, and I don't want to slide over that. I want to make sure that I hit the nail right on the head. My husband is from Ecuador, and there was a missions group that came down and really ministered to his life when he was about 8 years old. And he got, for the first time in his life, his first toothbrush. 8 years old. I know. But we're working on the teeth. And so he got this toothbrush, and he said, "You know what, Donna? That was my first toy." I know. I was like, "That's not a toy. That's a toothbrush, And he said, "But that's what it was for me." He started making bricks when he was 3 years old. He was like child labor. And, he didn't have toys. And so this missions group and these missionaries came down, and they not only gave him a toothbrush, but they told him about Jesus. I mean, it's so much bigger than a toothbrush, right? And I just think that's so powerful. When he said that was my first toy, because, of course, us in the United States who are born and raised here, we would never consider a toothbrush a toy. Maybe Coupon Cox back there playing with his toothbrush, but other than that, that's a little wacky, okay? So, and by the way, if you want to get, get along well with your in-laws, the best thing is just not to be able to communicate, because we have a great relationship. Some of you got that. Some of you lay home in bed later and go, "Wow, she's real smart. I just got that." So before I put this microphone down and pass it off to whoever I'm going to pass it off to, I just want you to know that even something as small as a toothbrush can make a difference in a child's life. Don't send the cupcakes because they don't have toothbrushes. But the toothbrush can make a big difference. And I want to talk, more about that later, but I just want to hand this off to Julie so she can talk about what we're doing. All right?
Are you guys enjoying yourselves? Yeah. Well, I want to thank you guys all for coming. We're going to have a brief intermission. So in the foyer, we're going to have cupcakes for you guys to eat and judge. So there's going to be little tickets there on the table that I want you guys to, when you taste your cupcakes, you're going to put the tickets inside the little baskets. This evening is a benefit for our missionaries. I had an opportunity to speak with them over the last couple of months, and they really touched my heart. They're awesome people. They're doing God's work, and it's really important that we become more mission-minded here. And I want to give you a brief video from one of our missionaries, and what our support here means to him.
Hi, Julie, Pastor Brian and Barry, and the folks at Crossroads Community Church in Fitchburg, Mass. Thanks for being a part of the Olajar support team. Barbara and I are humbled and grateful for your partnership in our mission with Chi Alpha Campus Ministries. We miss you guys dearly, and we'll be back in August for a wedding for one of our Chi Alpha alumni. But I just wanted to say today, thanks for caring and praying for us. Thanks for partnering with us as we reach students, train leaders, and impact nations. I'm serving on the national training team and having a chance to impact this next generation of leaders, and your partnership is invaluable to me as we look to help more people get motivated to go on college campuses and reach people for Christ. So again, thanks for being part of our support team network, and we will stay in touch. Love is a verb.
Love, Mike. So it's about faith promise. And in front of you guys, you have little cards that Pastor Barry had briefly talked about. I want you guys to look at those cards, and while you're enjoying your cupcakes, please take the time to pray about what you would have give. Faith promise isn't a pledge to the church. A pledge goes vertical, across, to the people, to the pastor. We're not making a promise or a pledge to the pastor. We're making a vertical pledge to God. It's a commitment that we are standing in the gaps for our missionaries to help to increase their budgets and to be able to give to them so they can continue to spread the word. So I want to encourage you guys to be in prayer about that. And please go enjoy some cupcakes. And as we come back, we'll get to hear some more laughter.